I really hate everything about this next video, and I can't tell if they're being satirical or being genuine. I mean, it really looks like they're being genuine, and that even makes me more upset. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jesse Lyon, a licensed counselor who gives you the psychology behind pop culture. And today we're responding to a video that seems very intentional. I mean, I don't think this is satire. I don't think they're trying to be intentionally inflammatory. And it was sent to me by a Discord follower. So shout out to the Discord community for always helping me find good videos to respond to. If you'd like to be a member, don't forget to click subscribe and visit lyonmentalhealth.com. Sign up for the emails, and the link is at the end of each weekly email that I send out. Of course, it's a great way to get free mental health help and advice. So what are you doing? Sign up, share it with a friend. It helps spread the word about mental health awareness. Now let's get into this wacky video. I don't even know what to say to set this up, so let's just go.
The brain of people who've experienced trauma is chemically different than the brain of people who haven't, which is why those with PTSD or CPTSD are technically considered neurodivergent.
I don't know who is saying that. I don't know who is saying that people with CPTSD or PTSD are technically considered neurodivergent. None of my therapist friends have said that. I've never said that. Like, I'd love to know. And I also, I've watched this 3 or 4 times. I fundamentally disagree. Like, there's a huge difference between, being hit in the head with a baseball bat and, that causing you to have some neurobiological functions misfire versus being born with a genetic condition. They're different, and the way that they affect you are different. The symptoms may be the same, but the origin and the treatment are going to be wildly different. And so I have so many things that are frustrating me about this video. I don't think you've seen me this frustrated in so long. There is so much to be said about how the internet community misunderstands. You have to understand what the origin of a mental health problem is versus what the symptoms are. I say this all the time. Not being able to wake up in the morning and getting out of bed late and being a procrastinator can be a sign of depression. It can be a sign of anxiety. It can be a sign of autism. It can be a sign of ADHD. It can be a sign of some other neurocognitive kind of function problem. Just because you do one of those things doesn't mean that you have all of those. You have to understand what the origin is. Are you so sad you can't get out of bed? Are you struggling with dopamine regulation and therefore have ADHD so you can't get out of bed? Are you so traumatized and anxious that you can't get out of bed? The treatment for each of those and how you understand yourself is going to be radically different based on the origin of those things. So calling somebody neurodivergent because of CPTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, I just think is a horrible thing to kind of insinuate, because it's going to lead people astray down the wrong path of treatment and even the wrong path of conceptualizing themselves.
Unlike most neurodivergent conditions, PTSD and CPTSD are acquired forms of neurodiversity, which means it manifested as a response to a traumatic event.
Now, it is true that you can see similar sort of symptoms from a person who's neurodivergent versus somebody who has PTSD or CPTSD. There's also a misunderstanding as well. Those who are of the neurodivergent community are, statistically speaking, much more likely to receive bullying, to receive hate, to receive discrimination, which are forms of complex trauma. And so you're even misunderstanding that. Are you insinuating that the symptoms are similar because both share trauma, or are we specifically talking about the neurodivergent symptoms? This topic, I'm losing it here, guys.
Trauma impacts your body to such a large degree that it physiologically changes your brain's chemistry and
somebody who drinks coffee has a physiologically changed brain too, because now you got caffeine in it. Somebody who takes antidepressants has a chemically changed brain. Somebody who has too much sugar, right? Bouncing off the walls because you had a couple too many boxes of Skittles at the movie theater is chemically altered changes in the brain. So what, is now that acquired neurodivergence too? Just because I can't sit still because I had a sugar rush? Come on, give me a fucking break here.
Communication. This impacts the functioning of your amygdala, your emotional processing center, your hippocampus, your memory and learning center, and your prefrontal cortex, which is your behavior and attention center. This is
true, but you're not convincing me why it's the same as neurodivergence. These are two different things. Symptoms may be similar, but we have to understand that they're different. And the worst thing, I haven't even said this, but I'm going to say it now because it feels appropriate and I'm heated. The worst thing You do not recover from being neurodivergent. Your brain just functions different. You can take medication, you can learn coping skills, all that sort of stuff. But to insinuate the same kind of like, now that you have trauma, you are broken forever, I don't know if that's what she is intending to say, but it sure feels like that is what is coming across. Is not a statement that I would give any credence to. It's not something that I would say. It's not something that I would want to even suggest to my trauma clients because, yeah, trauma happens. Like that's one of the things that's, you know, a risk of being alive here. But to insinuate that, well, now you have acquired neurodivergence and you're fucking stuck with it, dude, is not okay. There is definitely recovery. Why would I be a trauma therapist if I wasn't helping people recover from trauma? Like, you don't help someone recover from ADHD or autism. Like, honestly, that's insulting to say to somebody like, oh, you have ADHD, you need to recover. No, they're wildly intelligent and have amazing things to offer the world. Same thing with autism spectrum. But to insinuate somebody with trauma now has this like acquired neurodivergence that like they're broken forever, it's insulting. It's genuinely insulting. There are ways to recover. And sure, because you had a bad experience, you may not want to go do that thing again, right? Like I've got my own trauma. And so there's certain movies I don't want to watch. There's certain types of relationship that I just don't got time to entertain. But I wouldn't insinuate that I'm broken. I think I'm just more efficient in the things like, yeah, that doesn't bring me happiness, but this does. So I'm going to pursue that.
Why common symptoms of PTSD or CPTSD include brain fog, difficulty with concentration, mood swings, difficulty with switching tasks, irritability, impatience, difficulty regulating your emotions, difficulty making decisions, impulsivity, and anxiety, which are all...
You know what does all those things to me is skipping lunch. Yeah, skipping lunch will make me brain fog, anxious, grumpy, irritable, lash out. Yeah, so I think skipping lunch can also give you neurodivergence too. Did you know that?
All representative of neurodiversity. Whether you have innate neurodiversity like ADHD or acquired neurodiversity like CPTSD, it's helpful to have the tools to regulate your nervous system so you can manage the symptoms of your neurodiversity, and those symptoms never hold you back from living your fullest life.
I'm fucking speechless, dude. Like I don't know what that was that I just watched. I don't know what that was I just watched. Now listen, somebody's gonna put in the comments like, well, Jesse, look, there's some studies that say that it does change your brain. Right. I agree with that. But we have to make a difference here about like what this really is and the way that we're thinking about these things and what we are insinuating. Yes, trauma does change the brain and it has some effects to the way that the chemicals are released. And that can even last kind of long term. But to insinuate that somebody is broken for forever, I like the idea of you're changed for forever. Learning how to ride a bicycle changes your brain forever, right? It makes you more coordinated. Going to school, getting a higher education changes your brain forever, right? But the insinuation that you're going to be broken forever because of trauma, I just don't like. And we have to understand, see, now there's going to be people running around being like, I have acquired neurodivergence. It's not the way that works. It's not the way that works. And they're separated into different categories inside the DSM for a very, very good reason. What do you think? Am I talking crazy, or has this video just ticked me off in ways that I really shouldn't be entertaining here on the internet? Put it in the comments down below. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.